everyone, it's Rosemae, and you're watching Partum Love, helping you become the very best that you can be. This evening, I'm with Desiree. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great. So tell us about the devastating, stressful experience of having to deal with multiple deaths and suicide among the people that you knew in your life. How did you get through it?
Drawing and also working at the same time, because I feel like when you go through something that heavy all in the same time, you need an outlet. You can't sit in the house. It's perfectly okay if you're going to sit in the house and reflect and do things like that, but it helps to get out there, draw whatever that's on your mind and on your brain. And sometimes it gets so heavy that you can't talk it out in words. Mm-hmm. You can only draw it out. You can only it's only in you that you feel it, and you feel like you can't go to anybody else. You feel like you can't really speak to anybody else. Like, how are they gonna take from me what I just explained to you?
Exactly.
So that's one of the heaviest things. So I really got heavy into arts, and I actually got into astrology very heavy.
Astrology?
Yes.
Okay.
And those are things that really helped me out, and going to work and working like a whole bunch of hours.
So things that were of interest to you,
yeah,
you spent more time doing those things rather than less.
Yes.
And that helped you to take your mind off and to kind of put things in better perspective and, to keep you positive. Okay. When you found out, how many people we were talking about?
As far as like the death?
Yes.
Or it was 3 people.
3 at the same time.
At the same time.
Was it all suicide or no?
No, one was just cancer.
Cancer.
And 2. Well, technically it was only 2. I don't know why I always say 3. But the second one was suicide, and the third one was like somebody who was really, really close to doing it, and I had helped them out not to do it. So that was really, really heavy.
So you had 2 deaths, okay? One was suicide death.
One was suicide.
And the other one was cancer.
The other one was cancer.
And then you had one that
was really close to death.
Close
Should I
to
say
death,
better
but
words?
He or she didn't kill him or herself.
He did not pass away.
He or she? She didn't kill herself because of your help.
I don't want to
Or you think it's partly because of you? Partly because of you.
Partly
you
because
were a
of me,
great
but
help.
I don't want to, be like, hey, it's just me who did it. It was yourself, and
Absolutely.
Understanding that you have the power within yourself to do whatever you want.
Absolutely. But it helps to have support from other people, because in life, you can't do it all by yourself. You just can't. And it's great to know that, we live in a world where there are other people that can be of a great help, and that may even be going through the same thing you're going through.
Yeah.
So back to what you were saying. So they almost committed suicide. She did. Wow. That's a tough position to be in as a friend. What did you say? How did it happen? Without going into too many details.
My friend was going through a really, hard time. She was going through like so many issues, and back to back to back to back.
Sure.
And mostly what I helped her, and I told her, I was like, hey, just read this, because I try to get her onto the whole astrology thing with me too.
But that's great to get yourself involved in things that are interesting. That's a great help. And so, wow, so you were trying to get her to find things that were interesting for her, and to remind her that there are other things that you can do in life, and there are things that you can do rather than give up.
Yeah.
So, and how did she take that? I mean, obviously very well, because she didn't commit suicide, but obviously very well. But how did she feel? Was it easy for her to say, no, I'm not going to do it? Or did it take her a little bit of time, a little more coaching from you and help?
It took her time, because it took a lot of me talking to her, and then a lot of times I wouldn't talk to her, because it's like I don't want to hit nobody over the head with a whole bunch of words, and it's like, you know what, you need to understand and find your own truth, and if you agree what I'm saying or what I'm not agreeing what I'm saying, like it's on you.
It's on you.
So it was basically me talking to her, like, hey, you know what?
So you mentioned interest to her when you were talking with her. You mentioned that there's so many things you can do in life, like interest, like you mentioned astrology, art. What else did you mention to her that you thought was a great help to her not committing suicide?
Going to concerts. I'm not even gonna lie, and then we ended up going to Miami.
Concerts are a lot of fun. They can be very fun. Yes. Yeah. So you were reminding of all the things that you can do in life, and that it's not over. You can still have fun, even though things in life don't turn out the way that you would like. It's not over.
Absolutely.
Your life is not over. My life is not over. And things can get better in life. Now, since the time that you helped her and she decided not to commit suicide, looking back, you still speak with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is she happy that she didn't do it?
Yeah, she's happy.
She is. Did she share with you why?
No,
did her situation get better?
I don't.
Compared to before when she was feeling suicidal?
I guess on a level of not, taking her life and not taking her life, she feels better. But the way she perceives it is a lot different.
But she's definitely glad that she didn't do it. And she has you as a friend. Isn't that wonderful? You're a great friend. So, did you ever feel suicidal, by the way?
Yes.
So you did. So that's why you could understand where she was coming from. I mean, you don't have the same situation that she has in life, and you're not the same person, but you could understand where she's coming from. So how was that for you? What made you decide not to take your life? I'm glad you didn't, because I'm happy to have this conversation with you. And you're going to be able to help many people by doing this, sharing your story.
If I can help one person, I'm very grateful for that.
Yes. How was that for you? When you had thoughts of suicide, what helped you get through it?
Music was a big thing. Actually, one day I can't remember the technical term for it, but I remember I had like a little series, and it was like a few cuts on my arms, so I got like a bunch of tattoos on it. Mm-hmm. And I went to a party one day, and I met somebody, and we exchanged numbers, we partied the whole night, laughing. And she texted me the next day. She says, "Hey, Des, you okay? Like, I noticed everything that was on your arm." And I just bawled out. I started crying, and I was talking to her, and she really helped me out a lot. And I promised myself almost 5 years ago that I would never do that again. Mm-hmm. I would never do it. I would try to further my education. I ended up going to school upstate, and I ended up leaving a few months later. So that was a big help, and me not wanting to do that and appreciating that I might not come back again and live this life again if I take my life.
Well, what were some of the things that she said to you at the time when you were feeling suicidal, like that really helped you?
More so her talking to me, telling me that if you need somebody to talk to, just talk to me. Because a lot of time when people are dealing with mental issue with mental health and depression and suicide and all these things like that, we don't speak up about it. We don't speak up about it because we tend to feel like people push it to the wayside. Oh, it's not that serious and all these different things like that. But
or just get yourself together.
Yeah, like you have to pull your bootstraps up.
And it doesn't work like that, and it's not easy. It's not. There are days that it's hard to even get out of the house. That's possible. For someone else it might seem easy, but it can be a big ordeal. It's not as simple as the way people make it seem. It's real. It's a real illness. So her reminding you that she's there for you, and that you're not alone through it all, that really helped you to say, you know what, maybe I can cope with life. Maybe I can do this. Is that how you felt?
Absolutely.
Anything else she said that helped you?
She just mostly told me what I told you already. She, just say, hey, if you need to talk to somebody, just hit me up and talk to me. And, I didn't feel like I had too many people to talk to, so that helped out a lot. So
I see. So she's one of the very few people who reached out to you.
Yeah,
like and cared. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big deal because I had a lot of friends, but so many people didn't know me in that capacity of like, hey, people would hit me up and say, hey, let's go out, or let's drink, let's do stuff like that, but they didn't realize the things that was going on with me. And it took one person to really, kind of make me recognize that within myself, and I'm like, I'm feeling crazy. And she told her to help me out. So Michelle, you ever watch this? I love you, girl. Thank you. Yeah,
it does make a difference. It does. And so I'm so happy you're here, Desiree. Oh my goodness, wow. It's hard. I'm so glad you didn't give up. And lastly, what would you say to someone who's ready to take their life or feels like, what's the point?
Talk to somebody. Like, that's the biggest thing. If you don't have money for to go to a therapist or somebody, speak to somebody that you trust. If you feel like you can't trust nobody, write it out. Writing is a very therapeutic thing to do. It does really do help out.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, Desiree.
No problem.
And for everyone watching, just, I'll have some phone numbers down that are very helpful. And like you mentioned, if it's out of your budget or if you don't have money or insurance or for whatever reason, you can visit a nearby health center near you, and they'll be more than happy to help you, even if you don't have insurance. And there's also online chat to help you. You can go to imalive.org and also unsuicide.wikispaces.com. check it out. Until next time, I'm Rosemae. This is Desiree. Thank you so
Bye.
much. I hope this video was inspiring and helps bring you closer to becoming the very best that you can be. Take care. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm so glad you're alive.